today we have the yellow Honda NSX back in. Been with us for a little while. Been waiting for some parts to come from America. Most of it is now here, so we're making some good progress on it. It did quite a lot of track work last year at Spa and the Ring and various other tracks around the UK. So just gone over it top to bottom, giving it all a good check over. We're doing a full service, so engine oil, gearbox oil. It'll have brake fluid, spark plugs. The customer has got us to order a load of parts from Science of Speed in America. He wants a bigger brake kit. It has already got a Tarox brake kit on it, but he wants better brakes, or bigger brakes I should say. So he's gone for the new Brembo Pista kit that Science of Speed sell. That does mean going an inch bigger on the wheels, so we've got new wheels coming. Also doing full exhaust manifolds and cats. And then a couple of other little things. We baffled the sump, pulled the sump off and had that baffled. Magnetic sump plug, a little air intake scoop, a few minor parts. But yeah, hopefully once the brakes arrive in the next few weeks, we can get some footage of that. Get the brakes, wheels and new tyres done. But for now, I will show you where I'm at. I did already strip off the exhaust manifolds one evening to get the sump off, and I had the sump baffle welded in, which you cannot see now because the sump is back on, but sump is back on, baffle welded in, sump's been painted, new gasket and magnetic sump plug, and then we put some heat proofing on here, which is always a bit difficult, this stuff, to make it look nice, but the manifold runs under here, so it should help stop some of the heat going back into the engine oil. One manifold goes up there, and then we will drop this bar off. I had to put it back on just to move the car, but other manifold comes down the front and across. This is the brake setup currently. It's got a Tarox 6-pot caliper on the front, 2-piece disc, and then it's got a 2-piece disc on the rear that uses the original calipers. The new brake kit, the Brembo kit, will be a 4-pot on the front and the rear with 2-piece disc front and rear, and it also comes with brackets and then separate handbrake calipers. So as far as I'm aware, it runs the same calipers front and rear. So it is a really nice kit and hopefully should arrive within the next few weeks. These are the exhaust manifolds from Science of Speed that we have to go on. And today we are going to be improving it further. So in these boxes behind me, I have a Brembo Pista brake kit from Science of Speed in America. So first up, we have handbrake calipers, brackets to fit them, and all the bolts go with them. So one of the biggest changes with this brake kit is currently the rear calipers have the handbrake incorporated into them on the back of the caliper using cables. And this kit will now run a separate brake caliper, separate handbrake calipers, which you see here, similar to how kind of like an early Audi R8 runs. And we have 4 of these boxes. Now we have our first brake caliper. I believe it does actually run the same calipers front and rear. They're both a 4-piston caliper, directional as well. It's a lovely piece. And there is our first disc. So 2-piece disc front and rear. And here is everything fully unboxed. So we've got our front and rear kit, 4 calipers, 4 discs, got the brackets to mount the calipers, all new braided lines, all new fixtures and fittings. Looks like a very comprehensive kit. And there's our handbrake calipers with the brackets to fit those. And of course, these brakes are considerably bigger than the ones that are on there. So with that, we will need new wheels. So Science of Speed sell their own wheels, which are very similar to the facelift NSX wheels. So this is what we have currently. Currently running a 16 on the front and a 17 on the rear. A 225 tyre on the front and a 255 tyre on the rear. We're having to step the wheels up an inch front and rear, so we're going to 17 front, 18 rear. We're going to try running a 235 tyre on the front and a 265 on the rear. Now, I'm pretty confident the 265 on the rear is going to be fine. The 235 we may run into issues with because we already have some rubbing issues with the 225s, particularly when the car's at the Nürburgring. We may have to raise it slightly, adjust the camber, see what we can do. So it's running Nankang CRSs currently, and we've got brand new Nankang CRSs on the new wheels. we're going to try these 235s, see what the clearance is like. Worst case, we'll step them back slightly. I've got center caps to go in them with red H decals to go on, and they're all balanced, ready to go. So I've got the car up in the air on the ramp, got all the wheels off. This is the current brake kit that we have fitted, which is the Tarox 6-piston caliper on the front and then the 2-piece disc. As you can see, we're not running any arch liners currently, because when it goes to the Nürburgring, it's just too low and it damages the arch liners. We have got a new set to go on at some point. So the rear part of the Tarox kit uses a bigger disc, but it still uses the original NSX caliper, which, as you can see, the handbrake cable, which is this piece up in here, like a lot of old Honda calipers, the handbrake cable actuates the rear caliper rather than being separate. But on this new kit, we're going to go to a normal brake caliper and a separate handbrake caliper. One thing we've found with this car is it absolutely eats through rear brake pads very quickly. So I've just recently put a set of Honda, just genuine Honda pads in, because that was all I could get at the time. And I fairly recently put new pads and discs on the front. So they have currently got plenty of life in them. But it'll be interesting to see what happens when we go to bigger caliper front and rear, and if it prolongs the pad life at all. So I've read through all the fitting instructions for this kit, and it is pretty much plug and play, to be honest. Obviously, first step is removing all of the original brakes. We also need to remove the dust shields from behind the brakes. So there's a little bit more work involved in that. To get those out, we need to pull the front hubs out. So I'll get on with that now and get it all stripped down. Caliper's off and the disc is off. So next we need to remove this front heat shield because it doesn't get used with the new kit. So in order to do that without damaging this or chopping it up, we need to remove this hub, which fortunately is just bolted in from the back. I have had this apart once before a few years ago when I replaced the front ball joints. So I'll get that all stripped off now. So that's the hub out, heat / dust shield removed, hub all back in, got the adapter bracket in place, discs in place, making sure they're on the right side, which is based off of the vanes in the center of the disc, not these grooves here. So next part is to put the caliper on. And there we have it. Nice and easy to assemble this kit because the discs already come pre-built up, they're already torqued to spec. There's literally a sticker on them saying do not touch them, do not tighten them. Calipers come pre-built up with the pins and pads already in, ready to slide on. So next step is to get that caliper bolted up and then get our new braided line into place. So that's this side all built up, got the braided line all connected up. Just put the wheel on, just get an idea of how it's going to look. Just mocked up for now, see what our clearance is like on these 235 tyres, but does look very nice. Looking forward to seeing what it's going to look like when we lower it down. Got centre caps to go in, just got to put the stickers on them. Got new wheel nuts as well, so everything nice and new. So that is the passenger side rear all stripped down, caliper off, caliper carrier off and the disc off, and then just disconnected the handbrake cable from the back of the caliper. It's just on a little pin and a circlip. So now I will rebuild this side up. Also got the dust shield off. So I'll rebuild this side up with a new disc and caliper. That is both the brackets fitted. So we got our main bracket here to hold the brake caliper. This just reuses the original hardware. And then this is the bracket to hold our new handbrake caliper. So this is our passenger side rear all built up now. So we got the dust shield off, we got the disc on, got the caliper on. Again, comes all pre-assembled with the pins and the pads already in. Handbrake caliper also comes pre-assembled. There is a small bracket down the back here that holds the brake line. You just have to trim the edge off it. Got our new braided line all in place, and now all we need to do is clean up our handbrake cable and route it up through here. And then our pin will go through this part here. So there's our pin on our clip. Just give that a little clean up. And then we will have to more than likely adjust the handbrake inside under the center console. But that really is a very nice kit. Goes together very, very well. There's our handbrake cable connected, and the pin and the clip at the top. And they even supply a little bit of heat shrink to go here, just for where the cable now sits against this toe arm and this section of the hub, just to stop it rubbing through. So now onto the other side, and then we can get them all bled. So all the brakes together, I've bled it all with RBF 700, which is what the car had in anyway. So all nice fresh fluid, and just mocking up the wheels. So on the rear we've gone from a 255 to a 265, but the offset of these is quite different to the originals. So they do stick quite far out. So it'd be interesting to see what it's like when I lower it down, and if I need to raise the suspension at all. Fronts we've gone to from a 225 to a 235. Offset is very similar. The only thing I think we may have an issue with is the inner edge scrubbing on full lock, but we'll see how it goes. There are plenty of people who run 235s on these, don't seem to have any issues. This is it all finished up. So all the brakes done, wheels on, got the center caps in now with the red H logos on, tire pressure's set, wheels torqued, just been out in it and bedded the brakes in as per the instructions that came with it, and they feel good. So just going to let it cool down and then recheck them again tomorrow. Do need to adjust the handbrake slightly, it's just a little bit loose at the moment, but the wheels really are a perfect fit for this. I mean, obviously they were designed purely for the NSX, so straight out the box the widths and the offset is perfect, no need for any spacers. This car has been lowered quite considerably from stock, which is why it looks so good. We've got a tiny little bit of rubbing on the front axle on full lock against the inner wheel arch, but I'm going to get the alignment tweaked and hopefully we can get rid of that. The 225 tyre would be perfect. 235 just a touch too wide. But I think if we adjust the camber slightly, we should be able to get it to clear. I've taken it for a drive and it drives nice and straight. So if we just tweak the alignment slightly, see if we can get that tyre to stop rubbing on the inner edge, and then it'll be perfect, ready to go. Ready for another trip at the Nürburgring this weekend. So if you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep an eye on our channel for similar videos in the future.